What's up, y'all? Thanks for coming back. This is Tony coming from the DMV area. That's DC, Maryland, Virginia, for those that don't know. This channel is for bringing intellect and empowerment to Nigerians one mind at a time. So I just finished reading this book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. I talked about this book in past videos, and finally I was able to finish it. I've been going strong so far at the beginning of this year, trying to knock out these books. I'm definitely trying to get my reading game up. I used to be an avid reader when I was younger, but you know, once you hit college, you gotta read like your textbooks first, and it just, I wasn't able to read, you know, the books that I wanted to read. This book basically explains the sinister moves that Western companies did on developing nations. So this includes creating predatory loans, threats of violence if these countries don't go along with the loans, and orchestrating coups, and of course worse, armies coming in and just wreaking all types of chaos. So you might ask, all right, Tony, why is this important for business? Well, it's important because you want to have situational awareness for the environment that you're going into. So everyone knows, okay, doing businesses in Nigeria is very difficult. It's tough. If you can make it in Nigeria, you can make it anywhere. Whereas it's saying that for a reason. So you want to pretty much go in with all your armor or your weapons locked and loaded, so that you don't get tripped up by the simplest things. You want to expect the unexpected, and that's what I hope that this channel is able to do. You're trying to think of everything that can mess you up, can just crash your plans and make you not succeed. You want to think of everything. You want to be truly prepared, so that you don't become another statistic of a Nigerian from the diaspora trying to invest in Nigeria and it doesn't turn out too well. What else does this book does? It also makes you think harder about the psychology and the mystery of why the president does questionable moves. They don't seem to benefit the people in Nigeria. It's, I guess, like just a sixth sense, or not a sixth sense, but like a fourth dimensional, I'm just making stuff up, but a fourth dimensional view of why certain policies are being brung out. You know, a couple months, I think last year, you know, we was hearing about how Bihar was buying war planes from the U.S. Then everyone's looking around like, wait a minute, you spent this much money on war planes? Like, what war are we fighting? Why are you doing this? It doesn't make any sense. It looks like a waste of money. There could be another reason why he's doing it. When you look at what Ghana was doing last year, or what happened with them, everyone found out that they was making deals with the U.S. to have U.S. military bases on their land. Of course, you know, Ghanaians were like in an uproar, and it was just like, okay, why are you trying to bring the U.S. military over here? And then all of a sudden they try to hide their hand and, you know, say, oh no, we're not trying to do that. Well, you know, you got caught. It's kind of too late. So just understanding why they're doing certain moves. It could be something behind the scenes, and you know, you don't want to just point your finger and just chastise your you know, your government so easily. It could be something else, and you want to move cleverly. You want to be wise in how you do your business. So just knowing all this information can definitely be helpful. So what I liked a lot about this book is it described a lot of the reason why it seems like all these African countries, developing nations, have so much debt. Why they're in debt? How come they're not coming out of debt? You know, we on the outside just, you know, looking in, we're just like, man, well, how come they're not getting their stuff together? Are they stupid? Like, you know, are you not getting the right loans? You know, if I didn't know this part of, or this other side of the land, I would still be thinking like, I guess the majority of the rest of us, as far as, okay, what's going on? These Nigerians, they're useless, and why they keep finding themselves in debt? Why they keep going to China? Why they keep going to all these other places? Now I have a better understanding is a lot of times they think it's to benefit them, and then they find out that the rug has been pulled from underneath them, and now they're caught up in a situation where they can't pay back the debt because the interest is just increasing too much. They're not producing. They can only, a lot of times this money comes with stipulations. They can't sell to whoever they want to sell to like that, and it just constricts them on in what they can do. So now just having a better understanding, I can kind of have a bit more sympathy for a lot of these African nations, especially Nigeria. But nonetheless, still got to take accountability for your actions, and there's no excuse for corruption. There's no excuse for having no regard for life and to your fellow Nigerians. There's still no excuse, but I rather I enjoy having that information so that I can use it in my business ventures and as far as how I go in the future, how I move, and just having that in my mind that hey, a lot of the Nigerians there didn't ask for this. A lot of this is not their fault why they're suffering, and we're here to bring the solutions. One thing I didn't like about the book is towards the end, the writer, so his name is John Perkins, and pretty much he's a white guy, old white guy, and he talks about how his role in doing all of this, there's other people after him, and it evolved into something even greater and more destructive. And he calls for all of us to come together to make the planet better, basically. And I'm just like, us developing nations, us Africans, black people, we ain't do nothing. That was all y'all. Y'all screwed us over, and now you're asking us to help you all out and making this planet great. Like, no, you need to check your own people. And just throughout the book, he didn't really. I know it was more that he didn't say. I can just tell. That's just the part that I was just like, no, you need to specifically call out your white corporations that was going into these black and brown lands and milking them of all their resources, and then threatening them with war if they didn't comply. So no, you specifically stand bold and check your people. But in the end, he does talk about 11 things that we all can do to help the world. I transversed it into 11 things us can do to help Nigeria, and if other people listen to Africa, what we can do to make our countries great, overcome the atrocities that were brought upon us, and really make some boss moves out here. Alright, so the first thing he writes is keep telling a new story, one that is based on creating an environmentally sustainable, resource regenerative, socially just world where one group of people does not make other groups of people desperate. This story is about cleaning up pollution and regarding our planet as a living being, helping starving people grow, store, and transport food more efficiently, living less materialistic and more spiritually fulfilling lives, developing new technologies for energy, transportation, communications, banking, and wholesale and retail trade, bringing diverse communities together with the understanding that we all live on a fragile space station that has no escape shuttles. In other words, tell the story of converting a death economy to a life economy. Spread this story every chance you get to as many people as you can. Talk right, make videos, offer study groups, do whatever it takes. So pretty self-explanatory when it comes to Nigeria, really changing how Nigerians see themselves. Of course, we have, we're tribalistic people. If you're more focused on your section of people where your background comes from, then it is what it is, as long as we understand that we all have to come out this together. We're all in the same boat, we're all in the same country, but nonetheless, start small. So if you want to start in your community where your parents are from, then start there, and just bring that education, bring that second, like just the longevity, sustainability mindset over to who back home. So pollution, with crude oil, and we don't really have regulations like that, especially when it comes to green energy. Is not really a push going on in the green energy sector. So just bringing thoughts like that, finding creative ways to I guess invest in young people that are trying to make waves in that realm. So just there's a lot we can do to just change the mindset of how we're thinking now. We're still in that mindset of playing catch up with the West. And right now, we're not trying to go down that route. They're thinking about green energy, and we're still thinking about we need to get more oil and burn it and just pollute our airs, which can later cause cancer. Like, no, we got to be more wise. We got to look 50 years into the future. Like, where do we want our grandchildren to be at? Where we want them to be healthy. We want them to be strong. We want them to be intelligent. We want them to feel a sense of strength, integrity, and empowerment. We don't want them looking and feeling as if they are second class. We don't want them having a defeatist attitude about themselves. We don't want them looking at white people as their savior, as the people that are going to get them out of this hardship. Like, no, we want them to look to themselves and say, you know what, our ancestors did a lot. That history was had tried to be erased, but we're going to bring it up, revitalize it, and do what we can and do our part and making sure. All right, so the second point is shop and invest consciously. Replace recreational and mindless shopping tendencies with activities that truly nourish you and those that you love. When you must shop, buy locally as well as at consignment and thrift stores. Make things last, buy goods and services from, and invest in businesses that are committed to making a better world. No one is perfect, so seek out the ones that are doing the best in their field. Email them about the good things they are doing, encouraging them to get even better. Also email the businesses that you avoid, telling them why you refuse to patronize them. Insist that any organizations and pensions or other funds that you are part of do the same. I think encouragement is very helpful. It can really bring the best out of people. So in Nigerian culture, we tend to be very hard on our brothers and sisters that make mistakes. We yell at them, we chastise them a lot, and it comes a point in time where it's just like you can't keep yelling at someone and think that their self-esteem is going to improve. Get it, chastisement is always necessary, but a little bit more or a lot more saying, hey, you know what, you made this mistake. Why do you make this mistake? Do you understand why it's a mistake? You learn from it and do better. Or you're really gonna disappoint me. Just talking stuff out. Like, don't just get mad immediately, especially when it comes to businesses. Service industry in Nigeria is, at least I'm just gonna be talking about the West because that's the only part that I went to, especially Lagos. Service industry, they're just not good at customer service. So rather than just not show up or never come back to that restaurant, we should have an avenue where we can tell the owner, like, hey, look, the customer service it can be improved on. The food is good, but just the customer service, you need to do some training, or if they ain't trying to learn, just get them out. But they're costing you money, and no businessman or woman wants to hear that they're losing money because some other person that they hired is not making the customers feel welcome. So and if there's a trend of doing that, then you could possibly see a shift in the customer service atmosphere. It seems like it's impossible, it's never going to change, but I mean, every change starts small. Every change starts with someone speaking it, and then you bring it into existence. So just starting with that can go a long way. Number 3, live consciously. Focus on doing things that enhance your relationship with other people, your community, and the world around you, including honoring nature in whatever form it takes in your locale. Break old patterns that revolve around materialism and buying stuff. Downsize your house, car, and wardrobe, bicycle, or take public transportation. Avoid activities that use fossil fuels. Give talks at local schools, libraries, and other forums. So with this, a little bit difficult in Nigeria at the moment when it comes to public transportation, libraries. They're kind of non-existent, at least from what I've seen. Once again, this is in the West. I don't know how the other parts are like, but in the West, I didn't see any libraries. I didn't hear about any library. I asked about it from a contact that's over there, and I didn't hear. She couldn't give me an answer. When it comes to public transportation, there's a lot of private car shares, is what you call it, like an Uber, and vans. And from what I've heard, it can be unsafe. They can kidnap people that way, especially for women. Now, I'm not saying it's like a high percentage, but still, if you're traveling at night and you get into one of those vans and you can't get out, I mean, it can be a scary situation. That stuff is not there at the moment. So what we can do, of course, we're all about investing, we're all about business. That's the avenue for someone to pick up and run with it. Maybe you can, talk to local government officials, show like, hey, I can make this bus line, I can make it at different stops, very simple. You can see how it goes. You can make your money. Of course, everyone is always trying to travel, and then the traffic takes cars off the road, eliminates a lot of the pollution. I mean, just green stuff, that green energy, or not green energy, but more sustainable ways of having good transportation, efficient transportation, and overly populated city. So just looking at those opportunities is important. And of course the libraries. Like I'm just when I left Nigeria, I was really thinking about, hey, like we need places where you can attain a lot of knowledge for free. Shouldn't be paying for basic knowledge. Like I just feel if the population there has subpar general education, then I mean it allows for politicians to come and manipulate them any way that they can. It allows for Western countries to paint this image that they're your friend and they're here to help you. No, they were your former colonizers. Like, they don't care about you or your history. In fact, they still have a lot of the artifacts that they stole from your ancestors in their museums that they make millions of dollars off of. So bringing that history, learning history, very important for the people there. Even the language, knowing how to write the language, knowing how to speak it. Children, it's all about English a lot of times. And just it needs to be more institutions to really push learning and being smarter and being more intelligent and doing critical thinking and developing your critical thinking skills, developing your communication skills. All this stuff can be really emphasized in libraries. So unfortunately, taxes and all the other stuff that usually pays for this, these institutions are non-existent, or just not that pronounced. So it's probably going to rely on the private sector for now, but still, I mean, we could get some libraries all across the board. I mean, that's very beneficial. 4, pick a cause that appeals to your deepest passions and support it on a regular basis. This could be changing a corporation such as Monsanto, Chevron, or Walmart, or promoting a movement, radio station, blogger, a nonprofit, or a non-governmental organization. Give it your attention every day in the form of time and energy, even if it's only for a few minutes or money. Use social media to let all your friends know what you're doing. Craft emails and letters about your cause and distribute them frequently to your social media contacts. Ask them to distribute these to all your social media contacts and so on. So when I think of this fourth point, I think of social media and how powerful it is. And at the moment we use it, especially Instagram. So Instagram is, of course, it's hot, and we use it to just post pictures and food and dancing and all that's fine. But once again, everything needs to be, you have to have balance in life. So it will be good if we can start promoting like think tanks, because best believe your enemies are doing think tanks all the time on how they can siphon more of your country's wealth. So just promoting, okay, hey, let's talk about, there was this issue when I was traveling to I don't know, the island. I'm trying to remember. I'm like blanking on the Victoria Island. So I was trying to travel on Victoria Island. We kept on hitting this bump in the road, or this backup of traffic in this particular area. And maybe we can all come together and figure out something we can do. Now, of course, I'm making it very simplistic. I'm just choosing the issue, but I hope you all get the point of what I'm saying. If there's a problem, find other like-minded individuals that will care to find a solution. And then, of course, all of us together are doing something to not just complain, but solve the problem. And we're not waiting around for government to get to it. So it's just, once this all builds to the morale of the people, and when other people see that you are showing interest in bettering the nation, then it starts to spread. It might be slow, and it might not be noticeable in the beginning, but it starts to spread, and eventually, people get the hint. 5, become a part of the living local community. Use local banks that invest in local projects, local merchants, locally owned restaurants as much as possible. Buy food that is locally and organically grown. Use materials and goods that are local and or environmentally and socially responsible. Create community gardens and urban green spaces. Encourage everyone to do the same. Vote for Enlightened School and other local leaders. Join or form groups that bring people together to have fun doing such things. Bicycle nature, book, change the world clubs, be creative, drink tap or filtered water, not bottled water. So obviously, you got to take this with a big grain of salt for Nigeria. So I guess Nigerians in the diaspora, once again, it can go to just think tanks, thinking about what you can do to solve the problems. Nigerians that are at home right now, be a part of whatever organizations, community organizations there are, and give your input. So don't just let it be the same political figures that talk the same thing. Like, you put them in power for a reason. So voice your concerns. If you have any concerns about what they're doing, definitely voice it. And potentially, maybe if that representative is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, you can vote them out. You can kick them out, or Niger justice, whatever. Do whatever you can where you don't just have the same people making the same bonehead mistakes and you're getting nowhere. And they talk about green gardens, like plant life. We got some beautiful nature over there is beautiful, and just respecting it and kind of making an environment where we can enjoy it. So making more parks, having a system where it continuously cleans the parks, upkeep is very important, and it cleans the air and makes the place look nice. And this stuff is is good for also good for stress, because sometimes people just go to parks and be a part of nature just so they can de-stress. And when you're de-stressed, then you're more productive in society. 6, flood media outlets, corporate executives, and government offices with information about the need to move from a death economy to a life economy. Do this locally, nationally, or internationally, or all three. So just basically voice your concerns. You're trying to better the position that you know, Nigerians are in. So of course, continue bringing the hammer to these politicians. They're supposed to be representing you. They're supposed to be taking care of you. They're supposed to be doing their job, and if they're not doing their job, then they don't need to be in that position. 7, support reform movements that most appeal to you. These will be country and community dependent activities to encourage geopolitical, economic, and social reforms. Demand such things as guaranteed living wages and or employment, health insurance, medical care, and retirement pensions. Now that will be a miracle if Nigerians can implement some type of health insurance that's either really low cost or free, medical care, retirement for the elderly. That would be a nice thing. I mean, they got the money. Nigeria got some money, and and that's just from a lot of it is just coming from oil. Imagine if we really start innovating our agricultural or agribusiness sector, then there's no telling. Number 8, encourage the creation of local, national, and or international parks, wildlife preserves, and other such areas. If you live in a urban setting or a rundown area, organize people to turn vacant lots into parks and playgrounds, spend quality time in these places, and encourage everyone to do the same. Self-explanatory. People need places to de-stress, and it's nice to look at trees and grass and plants and stuff. Number 8, fight for campaign finance reform and or climate change regulations in the U.S. and elsewhere, or in Nigeria elsewhere. Join organizations such as MOVE, and he talks about different organizations. Once again, it's like before, just join organizations that support your cause. Be active. Don't just be on the sideline and then want to complain when things don't happen. Just be a participant. You never know what one voice can do. Number 10, avoid debt. Take positive actions to pay off credit card charges and other debt without incurring interest payments. Make a point of using cash whenever possible. Not much of a problem in Nigeria because it's pretty much a cash system or cash society. But here in the U.S. And I'm sure the UK, us Nigerians in the diaspora, just getting rid of all the credit card debt, the interest payment, we don't need it. Cash is, cash or credit card, of course, debit card, is the best way to move. Who likes to pay interest every month, especially when you look back from the entire year and you see how much money you spent on interest payments from credit cards, car payments, not including mortgage, because you're still building, you're building equity and you're building wealth, but just the other stuff that doesn't seem to bring value to your life. It sucks when you look back and you see how much money is lost just to service debt. So. And number 11, make heroes and icons of people who are working to create a better world. Honor the founders and managers of institutions and movements discussed in numbers 1 through 9 above. The visible and behind the scenes people who create an environmentally sustainable, resource regenerative, socially just world, who help starving people feed themselves, and who promote better business and living models rather than the CEOs of irresponsible corporations, overpaid athletes, and celebrities. If you see someone that's doing a good job, give them some recognition, support them, give them praise, accolade, just encourage them to keep on going. Even if you can't do anything physical yourself, you can always look to your brother and sister and say hey, I see what you're doing. You might not be out in the limelight like that, but you're definitely doing your thing. I can respect that, and maybe if you need anything, I can see if I can help, to further your cause. So definitely take these 11 tips, utilize it in whatever way you can. It's all to promote a better quality of life for the inhabitants in Nigeria and Africa. We all can do something. So even if it's not a monetary way, say you're a student and you don't got money like that, or if you can't travel back to the continent, you can always do. Social media has made it easy to affect change, to bring wisdom, knowledge to the masses. The internet, of course, you can always share. YouTube, you can always share something to reach someone that's in need. You can share ideas, and you can communicate with others that do have the means to get on the continent, get in the country, Nigeria, and make boss moves. So you can, ideas are free. So definitely don't just lock it up in your mind. Share it with someone, and you can see, we could possibly see some real change that's needed. Definitely catch me in the next video. Hope you all have a great day. Enjoy your night, morning, whatever it is. Take care, and until next time.